Hi, how are you? This is Abdulaziz Khan with you. Today in this lecture or in this video, we will see that how we can plan a passive repeater. So I have made this scenario for you, but you can make any scenario as per your requirement. So here we can see that we have two sides. This green area looks like to be some valley between these two mountains. So we have two sides here. So just assume that your RF team has requested you to provide a connectivity between these two sites. One of the site has some area from where you can backhaul, but the other side must be connected to the first site because you have to backhaul both of the sites. So initially you see this site, you say, okay, let's try to do something. So when you go in the terrain data and you generated a profile of uh, your sites, and then when you check the antenna height requirement, you came to know that you need antennas higher than around 160-170 meters on both of the sites. For example, if now they are almost 162 meters, so even if we take one of them down, because it is not difficult, we can take one of them down and we take it to a normal value of 40-45, the other one goes to the sky, I mean. So this hill in the way, it will not let you make any this kind of decision, I mean, that you take one of them down and then you try to do something, because this is a physical structure in the way. So you just talk to your RF team and you try to uh, persuade that we can change some of the site, any one of the site, maybe we can remove this area here, but they say that these places, these sites cannot be shifted because of some reasons. Maybe one of the site is already existing site, you cannot move it, and other site is also you have some, because you cannot make a site on everywhere. I mean, maybe because of the area, you can have only one or two sites, because in remote areas you don't generally have a lot of options. So just assume that we don't have any other options. We have to go ahead with these two sites. And this other thing also, we are very sure, we know that we cannot erect towers with a height of more than 160-170 meter. They can be erected. I mean, it's not something impossible, but generally in telecom world, we know that going with these much high towers, you cannot. There will be a lot of other issues, and also having two very high towers, it will be much more difficult. I mean, if you have requirement of taking one tower on a normal height of 40 meter and the tower on 150 meter, maybe you can convince your management, but having two towers of 150-meter height, this is also not something practical. And maybe for your specific situation, the thing which is in between, it is more higher, I mean. So we are just taking one specific scenario, but based on the requirement, the scenario may be different. So let's assume that we have to use a repeater somehow. Either we have to use a repeater on this small mountain, or we can use any of the mountains across to make a passive repeater or a passive reflector. So in this video, I will just give you way or the idea that how in path loss we can do it. I will not go in a lot of other details because even just to pinpoint a location which is most feasible as a repeater, this also needs a lot of investigation of the area, doing a lot of line of sights, and then you need to find some point which has the best line of sight from both of the sides, because you have to connect towards both of the sides. But that kind of detail, I hope all of you who are watching this, you have a good experience. I mean, you know how to find a site which can be having a good line of sight with these two other sites. So assume that we find this site somehow with some local knowledge or with some investigation in the tool. So now we need to go ahead and we need to make this site as our repeater site. So to make a site as a repeater site, first we need to do a full link plan of both the links. This is a requirement of path loss, which is quite logical as well, that if you want to make a site, then it's better that you first plan the both of the links and then you add the links and make the middle site as a passive repeater. So we will try to put as much as value that we can put. For example, if this site we have a antenna of the site on the ground, the BTS site, if it has a tower of, for example, 40 meter, so we will put a 40 meter from the start, that okay, we put a 40 meter tower here, and then we go to transmission analysis. So in transmission we will put everything that is required. I am just putting 18 gigahertz. It's not the exact requirement. You can choose any of the frequency based on your based on the frequency that are allocated to you, or based on the size of the link, and these kind of small things I will not go in a lot of detail. I'm using a normal radio of STM0 52 megabit, which is quite enough. And one thing that you will do is that you will try, I mean, not exactly, but you will try to use an over dimensioned link, because you know that we will remove the active part from the repeater. So the initial two links that you will plan, these two links should be very much over dimensioned, so that when you will go to the main issue, when you will convert this into a passive repeater, then you have a lot of flexibility in your design, so that you can do it. So I have finished this. Let's see, we can see that I'm getting a very high receive signal. That's why I have everything on 100. And let me just show you. It's showing that the receive signal is greater than maximum value. This is equipment issue, that is specified matter not used. So basically the main issue that we are getting here, which is very critical issue basically, but we will not go into detail right now, is that the receive signal is very high. But for us right now it's no problem. We will go with a very high receive signal because we know that we have to remove this site, and we will put a passive repeater here. So one site is planned. I will save it. Then I will plan the other site. So let's plan the other side now. It's the same procedure. You have to plan both of the sides before you can think of doing something. Here also we will go to the maximum tower height on one side, and then we will go to transmission losses, and then we should make this side as a, again we will do everything that we have to do. I will not go in details of these things because I believe that all of you have, either you have enough idea, or if you need any information, then it's already available in my other videos. You can watch those videos. So again, I'm using a 6 feet antenna with a very high gain on both the sides. So we have almost planned everything. So here again you can see that I have okay, right now I'm not in very high, it's minus 20, so it's not out of minus 18 was very high for it, but minus 20 is okay. So now we have planned both the links. So I have this link planned, I have this link planned. This link is impossible because of there is something in between. So now we should go ahead. First, this is the selection tool. I will select this link and then I will select the other link. I have selected both the links. Now go to operation and create a passive repeater. So once you are going to create a passive repeater, you have these three check marks. They are not, I cannot check it. I mean, these are based on your selection path loss. It can get these numbers from its own. I mean, it will not ask me to provide these check marks. I can only check here that which type of passive repeater I want to use. I want to use a single rectangular passive repeater, double rectangular passive repeater, or a back-to-back antenna. This decision you should take here, because if you would like to change the passive repeater, then you will have to make these sides again. You will have to again make another site, and then you will have to plan the link again. So we will start with a single rectangular passive repeater. I click this, say OK. Now I'm again now initially, if you remember, we had planned these two links, one from here to here and one from here to here. But now we are this is a passive reflector, and now we are end to end. I mean, like for example, if I will go to TX channel, now you see that there is no in between channel. The channel is between 867 to 655, these two sides. So now if you want, you can change the high low easily. I mean, you can change the high to low or low to high, or you can change the channel if you like. Same goes with equipment. If you want to change the equipment, now there is no equipment in between. The equipment is gone. So you can change the antenna. There is no antenna in between. The between antenna is gone. So now we should click this. This is our passive reflector. You can see from the shape. So I will click this. Now it's telling me the azimuth of one side and azimuth of the other side. So this should be put in such a way that one side is making an azimuth of 29 and one side is making an azimuth of 143. The thing that I have to provide it is what should be the width and the height of the main reflector and its height from the ground. The height from the ground has already taken from the tower heights, from the antenna heights that we had proposed. Using the same antenna height, it has proposed a center height of 11.52 meter. But if you like, you can, if required, you can change this height as well. this height is changeable. You can make it 10 meter or 15 meter, but this height will not have a lot of effect on anything. The main effect on anything will come from these two heights. Like for example, I put it as 4 and I put it as 2. So you can see here that I have a gain of almost 106. This gain is the passive gain here. If I change it, I make it double of the size, you can see that the gain is increased by almost 6 dBs. So like for example, I change it, I make it double, then it's again changed by almost 6 dBs. So any increase in the size of the reflector will directly affect your gain of the passive repeater, which is very simple and logical thing. I mean, if you can make a very big reflector, which is this 8 meter by 4 meter, it's a very big size, then you can have a very great gain. We see here that the things are not complete, because once you add two different areas, then path loss wants you to verify the rain region again, because maybe because of any change you want a change in the rain region. So here we can see that we have found 999 here with the help of a very big passive reflector. We have one thing which is very simple, that if once the main reason is that the equipment that we are using, it don't have the specified marginal value. This can be very easily corrected, and this rain probability, this is a warning, because whenever you will go out of this thing, whenever you will achieve 999, it will always give you a warning, because as per the ITU you should not go to 5 nines. So 5 nines, beyond 5 nines is out of the boundary of ITU. So here we can see that we have planned a link based on a passive repeater, and this repeater value, it's a big repeater. We can go back to our previous value if you like. Now we are on 4 nines, so we can see that two of the warnings are gone, and we are if we are fine with this number, because we can make it very big as well. You can make it too much big, but you know that putting this much big thing in this kind of area, how much is it feasible, you know it better, because you should be planning some actual link somewhere. So this was the first part, you can say. In this part we have added a passive reflector. So I will not add it right now, because if I will add it, then it will be shown here, and then I will have to delete these links to go back to my back-to-back antenna profile. So I did not add it, but if you remember, with a 4 by 2 meter, we were having a gain of almost 106 dBs. So let's see that what a back-to-back antenna can offer. Now we are in back-to-back antenna mode. It comes really fast because in this we don't have to provide anything, because the antenna sizes it has already picked from the PL5 files that we had added. And please note that I have not make it very, you can say that very elaborate design. I have not put any losses here. This is just an example. When you will be making it, I assume that you know everything. You will take care of the multipath as well, and you will take care of, you will put actual values of waveguides and different kind of things. This is just an example. This is just to idea to show you that how it can be done in path loss, but you don't have to follow it verbatim, because I don't have the thing that you have, I mean, so you know your things better. But just remember that every time when you will make this, you will have to put the you will have to put these rain values again, because the rain criteria needs to be verified again. Here you can see the passive gain, it's 96. We are using 6 feet dishes. So, but like for example, I have not put any losses here, because in case of putting dishes, you must have some loss, which is, I mean, it's almost impossible, at least 5 dB loss. So if you will have a 5 dB loss, then it will go further down to 91. But like in case of passive reflector, you don't have any extra loss generally. I mean, if you have a passive reflector from a cheap source, then because you know the reflection of the surface, it also plays some part. And if you buy a passive reflector from some good company, they will provide you the detail that how much is their equipment is, does it have any loss as well. So that would be 1 or 2 dB loss typically. So, but you have to add that loss also. But in uh, very high quality reflectors, you generally don't have any loss. But yes, with the passage of time, if if it deteriorates, and if it gets a bit, you can say that, broken from somewhere, and its actual area is became smaller, then it will have some loss in the future. So even this needs some kind of maintenance. I mean, not too much, but you need to maintain it as well. But the good thing is that it's not active repeater. You don't have any active equipment here, and you still achieve 4 nines, so which is not bad. And one thing is that how to decide about either going for a passive reflector or a back-to-back antenna. This is, you should have some local knowledge for that. I mean, the people of the area, they can guide you better that what should be, I mean, how much is the rain, if there is snow, or what kind of area it is. Because you know, if the area is too much windy, then a passive reflector, it became a barrier to the wind as well. So if there is any storm or any gusty weather, then the chance that the reflector will go down are much more than for the antenna to go down, because antenna have at least some small area, so the area of reflector is much more. So these kind of things, I mean, you should take care, you should have these kind of things in your mind. But here in this video, I have shown you that how can we make a passive reflector. I will not add this file as well. So here, I hope this was a good video for you. If you have any question, or if you are still not able to get something from this video, or you have some specific requirement, you can make a comment, and I will inshallah reply you. But I hope that this video is beneficial and good for you, and do share it with your friends, and do make this knowledge, spread this knowledge to other people as well, so that we all can learn together and we can grow together. So see you soon in some other video. If you need any special information, you can make a comment, and if you have getting any problem, you are getting any problem, you can share with me some detail, and I can make a video on the solution of your problem, and then we can share it with everyone, so that everyone can learn. So keep learning and stay home, stay safe. Goodbye.